Okay, today what we are going to do is we are going to start a gland of female reproductive part which we have not done yesterday. Okay, it's a important gland of female reproductive part. It is not directly involved in female reproduction, but what happens is it has an accessory function in female reproduction. Okay, it has an accessory function in female reproduction. The gland is breast, or you can say the mammary gland. Right. Now, mammary gland, they are said to be the modified sweat glands. Okay, they are said to be the modified sweat glands. They are present over the chest region. Okay, they are present over the chest region of the, or you can say the thoracic region of the females and males as well. The difference is in case of males, it is not well developed, it is underdeveloped, but in case of females it is well developed. They are also present in males but only in rudimentary form, but in females they are also rudimentary but they develop in the puberty. Okay, during puberty it starts developing. So at puberty they start to develop. Why they start to develop? By the influence of hormones estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen and progesterone. So at puberty in females they begin to develop under the influence of estrogen and progesterone. Apart from that, now coming to structure. The structure of mammary glands, they have a very dark pigmented area which is called as nipple on the surface, on the tip. Externally it has a nipple which is surrounded by a pigmented area. Now these pigmented area, they have this complete area is called as areola. This complete area is called as areola. So we'll see in the diagram. Now this area where the pigmentation is there, the initial area where the pigmentation is there, this is called as areola, and it has on the tip a nipple which allows the expulsion of the milk. Right. Now next thing is, this is glandular tissue. Since we are saying mammary gland, so it's a glandular tissue which forms the mammary gland. Okay, next thing is, it's a glandular tissue. Second thing is, it also contains fibrous tissue, that is connective tissue, and one of the connective tissue which we have done is adipose tissue. Adipose tissue contains the fat cells, fat depositing cells. Okay, so these are the adipose tissue which is also present in mammary gland. So mammary gland, it contains which all tissues? First is glandular. Glandular we have done, it is derived from epithelial tissue. Next is connective tissue. Now which all connective tissue? One is fibrous tissue which is present. The another one is adipose tissue which is present. So two connective tissue, fibrous and adipose tissue. Right. Now they are said to be the modified sweat glands. They are said to be modified sweat glands. Next thing is the glandular tissue. This complete gland, each mammary gland, it possesses mammary lobes. Okay, so the complete gland is divided into mammary lobes. So first is this lobe division. So it is divided into mammary lobe. So if I say, if I divide, see, this is very important flow chart कि पहले क्या होता है, फिर उसके आगे डिवीजन में क्या बोलते हैं, फिर आगे डिवीजन में क्या बोलते हैं. Why? Because it is sometimes asked where milk is produced, then where it will go, where it will be collected. So the complete flow chart is there. So I'll say that mammary gland is divided into, first is mammary lobes. So there are lobes. Now how many lobes are there? 15 to 20 in each gland. In each gland means one breast will have 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Now these lobes, they are formed. See, if you can see, if I say that this is one lobe, this complete is one lobe. Okay, now I'll say this is another lobe. So you see, it's like a bunch of grapes kind of structure, right? You can see this. It is like the bunch of grapes. The appearance is just like that. And what they've mentioned that each this part is mammary alveolus. What is the each part? Mammary alveolus. So I can say mammary lobes are further formed of mammary alveoli. Okay, it is formed of mammary alveoli. Done. Now, next what happens is when the milk is produced within these mammary alveoli. Okay, so when milk is produced in the mammary alveoli, it passes through the ducts. Now you can see these ducts which are coming out of it, which are coming out of these alveoli. Now it passes through the ducts. Now what are these ducts called as? Mammary ducts. So mammary alveoli passes the blood to the mammary ducts, right? Now near the nipple, what happens? These mammary ducts, they expand. Now if you see, these mammary ducts were very fine when they were coming out of the alveoli. Now they have this bulged part, right? They have joined together. They have joined together. Now since they have joined together and they form a widened part, expanded part, this is called as mammary ampulla. It is called as mammary ampulla. Now this mammary ampulla is where the milk is stored. Okay, it is stored for some time and then it is given to the ducts. Now again it is divided into fine ducts. You can see these ducts, they are again divided into fine ducts. These ducts are called as lactiferous duct. So mammary ampulla, further it stores the milk before it is released out of the nipples. So what happens? Mammary ampulla, it stores the milk and later on gives to lactiferous duct. It gives the milk to lactiferous duct. Now lactiferous duct, they carries the milk to one lobe to the exterior, means to the outside of the body. So this is the complete chart that the breast, it is formed of several mammary lobes where the milk is synthesized or secreted, you can say, which is formed of several mammary alveolus. Mammary alveolus produces the milk and releases into mammary duct, and which later on gives to widened ampulla where the milk is stored for some time, and then it transfers the milk to lactiferous duct, which helps in its expulsion through nipple. Apart from these all glandular tissue, we have seen the glandular tissue till now. We have not seen connective tissue, that is fibrous and adipose. So apart from this glandular tissue, there is fibrous tissue and adipose tissue. So this was all complete glandular tissue. Now glandular tissue, you can say it is, you can see it is outlined by, or it is pressed within the this fatty tissue, right? This is fatty tissue all around the glandular part. Okay, so this is fatty adipose tissue which covers the complete lobes. So it is covering the mammary lobes, and this fatty tissue is the one which determines the size of the breast. Okay, so the size of the breast is determined by the fat, not by the lobular part. So the mammary lobes, they are fixed or they are almost remain same in each female, but the size is determined by the fatty composition. Okay, next is fibrous tissue. Fibrous tissue, it supports. Now fibrous tissue, it is present in the middle. It is present in the middle where it supports the collection. Okay, it allows that all should remain together. Okay, it supports the alveoli and the ducts to remain together. Next thing is, what is the function of mammary gland? So the functions of mammary gland, you can say the main function of mammary gland is to secrete and eject milk. Secrete and eject milk. So secretion and ejection of milk is the function, or you can say release of milk is the function of mammary gland. Now this complete process, that is secretion and ejection, is termed as lactation process. This is called as lactation. Now lactation, see, normally it does not happen in every female all the time. Okay, it happens only in the female which has given birth to young one. Unless a female gives birth to young one, they won't lactate. And why it happens that only after the childbirth or during the pregnancy they start synthesizing the milk. It is under hormone stimulation. Okay, so there are two hormones which are responsible for this. One is prolactin. You must have done last year, prolactin. The another is oxytocin. Now you must be surprised ki why oxytocin. Oxytocin is the one which is helping in the rapid contraction of the uterus, so for the expulsion of the baby. See what happens during pregnancy. During pregnancy, there is rise in the levels of prolactin. Okay, and who secretes prolactin? It is secreted by anterior lobe of pituitary. So anterior lobe of pituitary secretes the prolactin. Normally, this hormone is secreted by our body. Okay, this hormone is secreted by our body, but what happens during pregnancy? Its secretion increases and it helps in stimulating the mammary gland for milk production. So what is the function? Stimulates mammary gland for milk production. But see, we are saying only production. We are not talking about that it is released or not. Okay, we are saying that the function of mammary gland is secretion and ejection. So we have said ki secretion. Okay, production is the function which is done by this hormone prolactin, and prolactin is normally present in our body. Okay, so but at lower levels. So therefore, there is no much effect. But when a female gets pregnant, the prolactin level increases by anterior lobe of pituitary, and which increases the milk production in the mammary gland. Next important thing is, after, see, milk is to be required or milk is to be released when the baby is delivered, not when the baby is in the womb. Okay, so milk production is done. Okay, the female has started lactating, means milk production she has started. But when the milk release will be there, when the baby is delivered out of the body. So when the baby is delivered out of the body under the effect of oxytocin. Now we are saying oxytocin helps in the rapid contraction of uterus, which will lead to the delivery of the baby. Same oxytocin will also act on mammary gland and will help in milk ejection. It will help in milk ejection. And this complete hormone, the oxytocin hormone, it is released by posterior lobe of pituitary. It is released by posterior lobe of pituitary. Okay, so this is all about the hormonal actions which are done on mammary gland. The next thing is what all the human milk contains. So human milk it consists of large amount of water, first thing. The second thing is it consists of organic and inorganic substances. Organic and inorganic substances. Okay, now what are the main constituent of this organic and inorganic constituents are? They are calcium. Okay, I'm writing the ionic form. It is not in ionic form. It can be in salt form also. Potassium, phosphorus. Okay, and apart from that, it contains vitamins. Okay, now the most important thing is milk is poor in, it is poor in iron content. Okay, iron content is lesser in milk. It is poor in iron content. Okay, next, vitamin C is present in very less amount. Okay, vitamin C is less in amount. And this complete secretion, it depends not only on the hormones but also on the mental state of the female. Okay, of the mother, the psychic state of the mother. If the mother is in high depression or something, this complete ejection or the secretion will not happen. Okay, or it will happen but in lesser amount. Okay, next thing is one antibody is also present in milk. We'll see. Actually, this was the part of chapter health and disease, but I'm telling you here, there I'll ask. Okay, human milk also contains an antibody IgA. Okay, it contains an antibody IgA, which improvises the or improves the immunity of the newborn baby. Immunity of newborn baby. Okay. Next thing is the lactating women, it secretes about how much milk? It secretes about 1 to 2 liters of milk per day. Okay, so this is all about the complete mammary gland.